All right. Hello, everyone. I'm making this video because three of my friends and I are planning on having a 4-player Wyvern tournament this coming Tuesday evening. This is the plan. We're hoping it works. And I wanted to make this video and get this out for them to look at, and we can then discuss what we want to do here. I'm going to throw out a whole bunch of alternate rules to use in this tournament. This is also for any fans of the Wyvern card game who would like to see some other ways to play. I've mentioned these before in previous videos, but not everything. I hope you will enjoy looking at this. So we're gonna be playing with limited cards. We're gonna be using these starter decks. We're gonna get each open 3 starter decks and 3 booster packs. So that's 9 rares. There's 2 rares in each starter deck and 1 rare in each booster pack. These are Premier Limited Edition. So none of the newer cards. And from that, we're going to build one deck that is a minimum of 20 cards in your Dragon Lair, 50 cards in your Treasure Hoard. You can have it more if you want. And every card you don't use in your deck is your sideboard. Every single card. We have to decide, do we want limits of no more than 4 copies of any card? Because sometimes in tournaments like this, they say you can have 5, 6, 7, 8, and there's no limit to how many copies you can have. We could limit it, since we're going to use 3 starter decks and 3 booster packs. We're going to get 5, 6, 7 copies of certain cards. Do we want to limit it to 4? Certain cards are limited to 1, which I'm sure we'll stay with that. We will only change rules. I think we should only change rules if 3 out of 4 of us or all 4 of us agree to the rule change. Definitely if all 4 of us agree. Should 3 out of 4 be enough, or do we need a 100% agreement? I'm not sure. I'm thinking maybe we need 100% agreement. So I'm going to go over these cards, and we're going to look at some possible ways to play them differently. Right off the bat, I was looking at this page, and we see these basic dragons with no abilities. So this one costs 2, this one costs 3. Should we say, just an idea, maybe not, that the little dragons with no gold, nothing on them, cost 1 less. So this guy only costs 1. This guy has an ability, so I don't think we can. He's got an ability, so even though he only costs 2, I don't think we could say he costs 1. But what about this terrible dragon, Colchis, a 1-strength dragon with no ability? Should we make him free? I don't know. It's just an idea. But then you have a 1-strength flying dragon. Should he be free? Again, I don't know. And then what about the 2-strength? This is a pretty good dragon. I wouldn't lower his strength. His cost. A 2-strength flyer for 2 gold is a good rate. This guy's not a very good dragon, but he can be a 2-strength. He can attack at 2 strength, and he only costs 1 gold. So it just depends. Should this guy only cost 1? This is a 1-strength dragon for 2 gold because he gets +1 strength for each 1 battle. Yeah, but he's got to win a battle. And then he's just a 2-strength dragon that you paid 2 gold for. That's not good. So if I was going to change one, that's the one I would change. I would say if you're lucky enough to open this guy, because he's rare, he only costs 1. You only have to pay 1 gold for him. I would make that change, but only if all 4 of us agree will we make any changes. This is another possible change. He attacks at +1 strength from face down, but otherwise he's a 0-strength non-flying scout for 1 gold. That's not a good rate. The 1 strength from face down is good, but not really. It's not that big of a deal. Yet it did make one of the winning deck in the first season of Wyvern. Amazingly, I was shocked when I saw it in the deck. All right, so those are just some ideas. Whoops, I went too far. Let me just look at these pages here. I don't think there's anything to change here. One option that we could do is where you see terrains that say -1 strength modifier, 2 gold, and there's also one that says -2 strength modifier, 1 gold. We could opt to increase the strength of these terrains by 1. So here's where it says -2, make it -3. This says -1, make it -2. We could also add 1 more gold, so you get 3 gold instead of 2. Just an option. Not sure if we should do it. There's one that's -2 and you only get 1 gold. So now it would be -3 and you get 2 gold. That's a much better terrain if that's the case. Here's one that only affects flying dragons. -3, 3 gold. Only affects flying dragons? I don't know. Why not? This would stay the way it is because it doesn't have any minuses. So you just leave that alone. Should the killer terrains be changed? Should we leave them the numbers they are? I think we should leave the numbers the way they are. We could increase the numbers by 1 if we wanted to. It is an option. So that's something. Let me look some more. I paused to start looking and I didn't have to go far. So here we have dragons in this row gain +1 strength when defending, and it costs 2 gold. That's a lot of money to pay for something that only gets +1 when defending and only in the row. What if we lowered the gold cost to 1? Now it's a good card. But then you'd also have to lower this cost to 2. Dragons in this row get +2 strength when attacking for 3 gold. Lower it to 2 gold. I think that's a good idea. I don't think it would be too powerful. It's just an option. I'm just pausing the video and I'll look around for more stuff. There is the sword treasure that says +1 when attacking. Jewels is +1 when defending. Golden Fleece is +2 when attacking. The one that's +2 when defending is either Phoenix or Chameleon, so we won't be seeing that card. Well, there's Sword right there. +1 when attacking. So make it 1 gold. I think that's a good idea. Oh yeah, this one. You get 1 gold every time a dragon in the row wins a battle. It's okay, but it's not great. What if we made this cost 1 gold and you get 2 gold whenever you win a battle? So the first battle won, you're up a gold, just like you would have been. But now, if you win a second battle, you get 2 more gold. It's a better card. You do have to pay a gold for it. We could say it costs 2 gold, but then the first one battle didn't do anything for you. I feel like it's got to get you at least something. So that's just another option. And then right into the strength modifiers. Should we make all strength modifiers do +1 more? So fire breathing would be +2 for 0. Dwarven armies would be +2 for 0. How about hailstorm being -3, loses 2 strength for the rest of this battle? All flying dragons. How about they lose 3 strength? Is that too much? I don't think so. It's all flying dragons, but maybe. I don't know. Don't know if we should do anything with cards like this. We could add that you could, if you wanted to put this in your deck, you could discard a card to draw a card, but I don't think anyone's going to put this in their deck. I think we'll side this in if we see a lot of Dwarven armies, maybe you'll side it in to stop their Dwarven armies if you're only playing like one of them or something. I don't know. Should we do something like that, though? You can discard this card to draw a card. Because this card is not really very good when you look at it. I'm going to pause and see, and I'll come back when I find another one. And literally on the next page. How about poison breathing attaches to the dragon? And maybe the dragon loses 2 strength for the rest of the game. Now, if it's attached to the dragon, the card Village, which I will show you when it comes up, will get rid of it. I would also say cards other than terrains, cards that attach to dragons that hurt the dragon will go, or even ones that necessarily benefit. You'll see Martha Bethany does this too. If the dragon is turned face down, the card goes away. I think Martha Bethany leaves the dragon. Martha Bethany makes the dragon immune to dragon slayers. But if the dragon is turned face down, I think Martha Bethany is removed. We could say that for all of these because I have a few cards here that I feel should attach to the dragon. And this is one of them. The other thing is we don't attach it and we just put a -1 counter or a -2 counter. But I like attaching the card. That way Village gets rid of it. Magical Healing gets rid of it. Magical Healing gets rid of all negative modifiers on a dragon where Village only removes any card from a dragon. Any card. Doesn't matter what the card is. So if we're going to do +1 more, Magical Sword would be +3 for 1. That might be too much. Maybe that's too powerful. I don't know. Might be fun to try it, though. I think Seaweed, here's a card that I don't like at all. I think it's a poorly designed card, and I'm surprised they never changed it. I think it should be free. Okay, it says, if you can't see it there, Seaweed is played on a face-up dragon and gives that dragon a -1 strength modifier for this turn. So for 1 turn, you weaken a dragon's strength by 1, and that costs a gold? How about we attach it to the dragon and say it's free? You've thrown Seaweed on the dragon, so now he suffers a -1 strength modifier. He can get rid of this card, with Magical Healing or Village, or if he turns it down, it will get rid of it if he has a way to turn the dragon down. So now cards that turn dragons down become more useful. There are more cards that attach to dragons, and turning them down gets rid of it. This makes it quite interesting. Avalanche becomes a more playable card. I think Earthquake, you should not have to discard a card. If you play Earthquake, your opponent has to discard a card. I don't think you should have to. I don't know why they thought this card makes sense. I don't understand this at all. So would these 2 cards also get +1? So Firebolt, you'd get +4 for 2 gold. Fireball, +5 for 3 gold. Another thing I would add for a 3 gold cost card like Fireball, we could add is if that card is countered, like with Armor, the gold is refunded. So now if they counter your +4 or +5, if we're going to go +5, at least you get your gold back. With this one, you don't. Or do we want to say you get your gold back with this one too? Because 2 gold is a lot to pay for a card. Like this is one of the most powerful cards in the game. Medea's spell. Let me bring it up here. And this affects the base strength. Now the cards that we're going to be playing with, it will not say base strength on it. This is from Kingdom. The limited cards did not say base strength. Do we want to play as the card is written and it affects the current strength? That's we could do that. Or we could just say, whoops, as my thing is falling over here. We could just say Medea's spell and power switch affect the base strength. Or we leave it as it is worded and it affects the current strength, which is much more swingy. Because if you play Fireball and give it +4 or +5, and then I play Medea's spell and put you back to 0, see, that's like, oh my God. So it's a little nuts, but we could do it. All right, let me look around. And literally right the very next page. I think we should limit Golden Apple and Fountain of Youth. They both basically do the same thing, to 2 cards in the deck. The dragon you play the Golden Apple on survives this battle even if he loses. Fountain of Youth is a treasure. You have the dragon effectively drink from the fountain. He survives the battle even though he loses. Fountain of Youth is then discarded. This prolongs the game, but I do think it is a necessary part of the game. I think limiting it to 2 copies would make more sense. Whatever we decide, that's just my suggestion. Another thing we could do, now Dragon Slayers are already powerful in this game, so this might not be a good thing to do. But if we're going to make the terrains more powerful, and if we're going to make the strength modifiers more powerful, we at least could consider making the Dragon Slayers more powerful. So these would all be 1 better. So Sigurd kills any dragon of 3 or less strength. Sir Lancelot kills any dragon of 4 or less strength. Now that makes them significantly more powerful. If you're lucky to open the rare, you'll get Jason. Sir Galahad is not in limited. Sir Galahad is from Phoenix. He slays dragons of 4 or more strength. So he's a big deal. But he's not here. The only one we have access to is Jason, and he's rare. Other than that, the only way you can kill big dragons is if you've got a big flying dragon, and you can kill him with the Cadmus Dragon Slayer, who slays any flying dragon. Thor slays any subterranean dragon. You don't put Thor in your main deck. Trust me, there aren't enough subterranean dragons to make it worth it. We could even consider lowering Thor's cost to 1 gold. It's 2 gold for Thor. I will only side him in if I see you playing multiple subterranean dragons, and it's just not worth it. So those are some options as well. All right, is there anything on this page that I think we should consider? I don't think so. See, this Naga card, notice it says Strength 3. On the limited card, it might not say Strength 3. Its base strength is 3. And the Kingdom card is with the logo. There's no logo in the limited card. In the limited card, there's a black dot next to the number. That's how you'll know. So I'm torn about those other things, but let me look some more. I'm going to pause and look around. Okay, with Lambton Worm, let me get close so you can really see what it says. I think there's only two options. One is we don't allow it, and the other is we add 2 gold symbols to the card so that its ability will cost you 3 gold. You're getting back a battle position for 1 freaking gold. This card was not used in any other way other than to get back a lost battle position, which just prolongs the game. But at 3 gold, it makes more sense to me. Either that or we just say no Lambton Worms in the game. So whatever we decide, that's how we'll do it. All right. I think Magic Wand should be free. Any dragon in this row can become a flyer or a non-flyer for the rest of the turn. That is not a very good ability. There could be a time when you might want to turn your dragon into a flyer for some reason. I don't know when you'd want to turn it into a non-flyer. You can't do it in response to a Dragon Slayer, like he's going to slay a flying dragon. Or we allow that the Magic Wand can turn it into a non-flyer, and you're trying to slay it with Cadmus, who slays any flying dragon. But I think this card should be free, and I'm guessing you guys will agree with that one. We could say that Shipwreck, the terrains get a -2 strength modifier in addition to any other cards. Now, whatever changes we agree to, I will make a list on a sheet of paper so that we can see all this stuff in front of us, because I know you're not going to be able to memorize all this stuff. This card, Volcanic Eruption, was limited to 1 copy per deck, but that was for constructed. I think it's fine to have more than 1 copy of this. It's an uncommon card. You won't open many. I'm fine with having 2, 3, or 4 copies. And I'm fine with limiting to 4, or we could limit cards to 5, no more than 5 copies of any card. Again, that's totally up to us. Here's Heatwave. All dragons which are face up lose 1 strength for this turn. Should we make it lose 2 strength for this turn? That's just another option. Now that makes Dragon Slayers more powerful again, because you're weakening the dragon more, giving you the ability to slay it. So do we just leave it at 1 and don't make any changes to Dragon Slayers? Because they're already powerful. And there's Power Switch, which, as you see, does not say anything about base strength. So we either play it with base strength or we play it like this, because this is what it's going to say on the card if you get lucky and open them. Medea's Spell and Power Switch are rares. So you'll be lucky if you get one, but you might. And Magnetic Field might only cost 1 gold. I think it'll be 2 gold, but I'm not sure. All right. Oh, and then, of course, Beowulf would kill any dragon of 1 or less strength as an option. If someone is lucky, well, I don't say lucky. If you open a Doomsday, this is a weird card. So you're going to destroy all the face-up dragons, but then they're replaced, and then you get 2 cards. Each player gets 2 cards for each dragon that was destroyed. So you're going to give your opponent a lot of cards if you destroyed 2 of their dragons, and their dragons are replaced, but now they've got to pay for dragons again. So they could run out of gold this way. But this happens to you too. And if you're killing your dragons to draw cards, well, you just paid 5 gold. How are you going to come back from that if you just lost dragons that you paid for? What if we add, and I don't think we're going to do this, especially since this is rare. I think we'll just ignore this card. I thought of an alternative to make this card better. Since it's the most expensive card in the game, it ought to be the best card in the game. On each of your draw phases for 5 turns, you get 1 gold. So you slowly get all your gold back. And it ends up not costing you anything other than the effect that it does. That's what I came up with. Any other ideas? Because this was not People ignored this card for the most part in tournaments. It just wasn't worth the cost. I would be perfectly fine with Loki costing just 2 gold, because he's got to win a battle to get a gold, which means he's got to win 2 battles to make it worth it. So I'm fine with it either way, but if y'all want to say, yeah, Loki should just cost 2, then that's what we'll do. Same with Mo-O. If we make this guy cost 0, he's pretty darn good scout. As it is, he's okay. You get the gold back, and then if from that point forward, if you hit a terrain, you get gold. So maybe we leave him alone, but we could make it 0, or we could make it 2 gold pieces, and you get 2 gold every time you hit a terrain. That's another option. All right, here's 2 more weak dragons that just both happen to be subterranean. I would be fine lowering their gold cost by 1, but that, again, that might get too tricky and hard to remember. Which cards should we be reducing? I just wanted to show them. These are not really good dragons, so, and they're subterranean, which mostly won't matter. But there are a couple cards. You might open a rare card that helps subterranean dragons. You might open giant ants, which gives you +2 strength to your subterranean dragon for free. It's possible. So just so you see them, there's Cadmus and Thor. Cadmus is fine. There's enough flyers in the game. There's just very few subterraneans that are, let alone subterraneans that you want to slay. There's almost none. But here's Martha Bethany. Very good card. And if we make Dragon Slayers more powerful, then even more so. But notice if the dragon is turned down, Martha Bethany is discarded. I like that rule for anything that attaches. And speaking of cards that I think should attach, I'm looking at this card as just a bad card that I would never play, because I never have. 2 gold so that you can't attack it for 1 turn. 2 options here, and we could play this one of 2 ways. Either way, this is my option. You can play it as is for 2 gold, but it attaches to the dragon and remains on the dragon, so you can't attack my dragon while this is on it. But then again, I can't. Well, I mean, if I don't attack, I may have to swap out. So if I'm down to this is my last dragon and I play the Pindy tree to protect it, I'm going to have to attack. So I don't think attaching it makes it too powerful. The other option is make it free for the turn. Can't attack. It's a 1-turn thing. I think I'd play this card if it was free. We could lower the gold cost to 1, but I kind of like that you have the option to play it once for free or attach it for 2 gold. That's my recommendation. I'm more than willing to do 1 gold, no gold, play it one way. I'm not really sure. This is just a sideboard card. It's going to go up against cards like Mount Chung and Knight. Mount Chung can cancel the battle, things like that. So this is you're going to see this card a lot in your decks, and you're going to open them more than 1 copy. Here's another one that's a rare card, so you might not see it, but play this on a face-up dragon. This dragon cannot get or give help for this turn. Should we make that permanent, or should we make it free? Again, for 1 turn, I just don't see that it's all that good. But then again, if you've got a big dragon that can get help, and I can turn it off for a turn, maybe? I don't know. I don't see the point of the cost. I think free is cost enough. You're paying a card. All right, so here is City and Village. I think City should be free. For free, this is a playable card. You can turn a dragon down, which with my attachment rules will also get rid of the things that are attached. So if you want to turn your dragon down, or I could just turn your dragon down for some reason if it would hurt it to turn it down, like if it would be to my benefit. I don't think that will come up. I think mostly you're going to use it on your own dragon. But I never played this because I'm going to pay 1 gold and a card just to turn my dragon down. It's just not worth it. But Village, with these new alternate rules that we might use, is now even an even better card. Otherwise, it's totally a sideboard card. I'm only going to use it if it's really going to come up. All right, is there anything else on this page? I don't think so. This is such a strangely worded card because you're only allowed 1 of each type of dragon. So why would your opponent ever have two of the same dragon? At first, when I read this, I thought, oh, so like if I have Wyvern in play and you have Wyvern in play, I can get rid of your Wyvern. But it says, you decide which one is in me. Why would I replace mine? It seems like an oddly worded card. I'm not sure what to make of it. And again, this is rare, so we probably won't see it. I should add, but we might. This isn't a bad card as is, but I would not be opposed to lowering the gold cost down to 1. You're forcing it to attack, and if it can't attack, you're forcing it to get swapped out. So this can be an effective card. This is a rare, but it's like one of the more common rares. I would be fine at 1 gold for this. I think it's okay either way, though. Here's another card that I don't know what they were thinking. Guess whether you will discover a terrain or dragon when you attack a face-down card this turn. If you are right, get 2 gold from the gold mine. If you are wrong, pay 2 gold to the gold mine. Well, I guess it is a good gamble. It's not as bad as I thought. There's another one I'm confusing it with. But we could up that to 3. Make it even more gambly. Just an option. Here's the one I was thinking of. You are betting one of your gold pieces that you will win this battle. Opponent must see your bet of 1 gold piece or concede the battle. Winner gets both gold pieces. How about you can bet any number of gold pieces or limit it to just 2? You can bet up to 2. Because, if I have 8 gold and you have 3 gold, then I could just say, well, I'll just bet 4. You can't equal that, so you'd have to concede. So no, you can't. I don't think you should be allowed to do that. But I think 1 or 2 would be make it a little more interesting of a card. Again, it's rare though, so we probably won't see it. And this card is just weird. It's rare. When are you going to really play this card? I don't know. Any options on making this better? Allowing you to discard it to draw a card, or when you play it, you just get to draw a card. That would make it better, at least. All right, so we are doing this. When we play Gold Thief, you get 1 gold from your opponent, so that you steal 1 from them, and the Gold Thief steals 1 from the gold mine. So you get 2 gold, your opponent loses 1. John and I like this play of the card. It makes it much more fun. And with Catch a Thief, you take the gold from your opponent, and you get 1 from the gold mine. And of course, it also counters Treasure Thief. So potential in the main board. I'm sideboarding this card, just so you know. Gold shortage. I don't think there's any reason to up this to 3 gold. We all have to pay 3 gold. We all have to pay 2 is strong enough, and it's probably a sideboard card. This card, you get 3 gold, your opponent gets 2. Now, that's a better card. You're giving your opponent 2 gold, but you're going to get 3, and that's significant. When would you pay 3 gold for this effect? I would be okay. I would be okay with this costing 2, 1, or even 0. Maybe 0's nuts. I don't know why they made this 3. They can't. You can't spend any more gold on action or battle action cards. I guess because that could really shut down your hand, so you just can't play your cards. But for 3 gold, unless you know what your opponent has in their hand, this is totally not worth the risk. So I think maybe somehow allowing your opponent to see the hand or something. I don't know. I'm really not sure, but this is rare. But still, it could come up. We're all opening 9 rares. So and if there's 4 of us, that's 36 rares. So there's a chance. Now, they did away with this card. Everybody complained about it. They called it a stupid card. I met a guy who played Wyvern. He said, I love that card. He goes, I play it all the time. I didn't mind it. So I'm willing to play this card if you guys want to try playing it. But it is weird. If we want to say no, it's banned. If we want to say we can play it, we'll play it. If anybody has an idea to change it, make it better, feel free. All right, so those are all the changes. I have one more thing, and I mentioned this in my last Wyvern video. Another way to play a terrain card is that you could take your terrain card, which is face down, and reveal it and attach it to your opponent's face-up dragon. Not to a scout, because scouts destroy terrains, but you could possibly, we would play this. This is another way to play the terrain. So instead of worrying that your opponent's going to destroy your terrain, you could simply attach it to one of their face-up dragons. Now the question is, do you also get the gold? And the other question is, are we going to do -2 with 3 gold, or just leave it at -1 with 2 gold? Do we just do the strength modifier if we attach to the face-up dragon, or do we not do this at all? This is the options. I don't think there's any other rule changes that I came up with, but I'm going to double check and I'll be right back. Oh yes, I didn't say this, so I want to make sure we're clear on this. If the terrain does not apply, this isn't just for killer terrains. If the dragon that hits the terrain, it does not apply to the dragon, the rules say the terrain is destroyed. We say the terrain is swapped out and nothing happens. What happens is your terrain didn't do what you were hoping it would do. That's still unfortunate for you, but at least the non-scout didn't destroy your terrain, which makes these cards much more playable. You don't have to worry that a 4-strength dragon is going to hit this terrain. You don't have to worry about it. The cards that only affect flying dragons, well, if a non-flying dragon hits it, it's just swapped out instead of destroyed. So that's how I'm sure we're going to play it that way because that's how we've been playing it, and I don't think you guys want to change that. Though I know, Jake, you've only played like once or twice with us, so those are our rule changes. All right, I think that's everything. If you want to look, I will put a link to all the Wyvern cards that you can look up and scan them and look them over. It's a nice thing. It will show you the cards for Phoenix and Chameleon as well. You'll see the difference between Premier, Limited, and Kingdom. Even though it's all the same set of cards, Limited has more cards and Kingdom had Phoenix reprints that they added to the Kingdom cards, making the Kingdom set the biggest set. I will include that link so you can look at all of that. It's a good page. It's a very good page. All right, we need to discuss this over the weekend maybe. And for all of you watching, if we have this tournament on Tuesday evening, I'm going to try to have a camera on it. Might not be great because there are going to be 4 of us playing. We'll see how that's going to work. But I'll definitely try to make a video, and we'll see how it goes. All right, talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.